Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We are going to talk a little bit. I want something here I want to react to about Kevin Garnett, talking about really the Connecticut Sun game and what's been going on with the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. And this is a guy who would know. This is a guy who is a fiery competitor. And of course, like most NBA players, he's removed from the drama of the WNBA and looking at it purely from a basketball perspective, something we never get from the WNBA. So I want to listen to some of the things he says here, and then we're going to talk about it.
I thought it was always big to not only support teammates, but to show. You know, like even in my Minnesota days, man, I've always taking a loyalty to all the players that's on the team. And yeah, man, it helps confidence, it helps continuity, you know, and then too, for that to be your best player, you gotta protect the best player. And I wanted to, especially when I got to Boston, man, I wanted to make sure that all of the bigs, because usually the bigs are the ones that enforce picks, hard fouls, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like this, but not just the bigs, but I wanted all of us to be on the same page as far as how we protect each other out here, you know? And then we was always conscious of matchups to when we played the Heat or when we played certain teams to where certain guys had, you know, different complex relationships with whoever. You know, we knew we played Detroit and Rip with Ray. You know, we know P had like 3-4 motherfuckers that we had, you know what I'm saying? So everybody was on it, and I think you gotta be like that, man. When you got a girl like Caitlin on your team, and you got a star on your team like Luka or Bron, yeah, some hitters on that team that'll go hard for the main player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And as it should, but.
Well, there you go, folks. Does that sound like the Indiana Fever? No, it sounds like the Indiana Fever, what the Indiana Fever should be like, and they're not, which is his point. The team has to be on the same page. There has to be enforcement, right? I talked about after that incident with Mabry how someone needed to set a hard pick and let her know. Boston is a big body. Dantas is a big body. Even Howard is a big body. Put Bree Turner out there, Michaela Timpson out there. Run Marina Mabry full speed into a wall. Run JC Sheldon full speed into a wall. Let it be known you're not going to allow this stuff to happen to your star player. It's just unacceptable. And it looks really, really bad to the rest of the league. It's open season. By the way, did you notice he said when you play certain teams, right? So when you go and play a Connecticut Sun, and you already know about JC Sheldon and Caitlin Clark, you go play the Dallas Wings and Dejanay Carrington. You know these things. You go play Seattle and Skylar Diggins Smith and things like that. You know what's going to happen. But all right, I want to play. I think if we start it here, I think let me just see. I might be a couple seconds off, but this is really, really important to listen to as well.
Stress, you know, situation and then deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm going on some shit like that continuity. You gotta have that, and you gotta be together because teams see when you don't go to help a guy up, or if P fall and none of us running none of us run to him.
Got that? You got that? The entire league has seen that with the Indiana Fever going back to last year, and it hasn't changed this year. Right? Do you remember the Kennedy Carter hit? The only reaction from the entire team was, well, there wasn't one. I mean, Aaliyah Boston eventually just kind of dropped the ball that she was going to throw in and slowly strolled the few steps over to Caitlin Clark to half-heartedly help her up. Her teammates do not support her. They send signals to the entire league that, hey, we don't support her. It is open season. Do what you want because we want to play basketball that is not the Caitlin Clark style. We have no interest in Caitlin Clark. We are on your side when it comes to your hatred of Caitlin Clark. That is the signal that Caitlin Clark's teammates, and granted, of course, not all of them, but that is the signal that the players have sent to the league. Right? We saw it in Connecticut. We saw, okay, Lexi Hull stepped in. Sophie Cunningham eventually went went all, did her thing. But the signal to the league there was they're not going to protect Caitlin Clark, right? JC Sheldon scratched her eyes out with her long fingernails, then laughed about it when Caitlin Clark was walking away holding her eye, stalked her. Marina Mayberry comes by with the blindsided hit, and Natasha Howard decides she's going to cop a feel on Marina Mayberry. That was going to be her reaction. She was protecting Mayberry, not protecting Clark. Sydney Colson had her social moment after the game. The entire league saw that. And I think that is one of the reasons, besides the lectures probably from Stephanie White, the coach, one of the reasons you saw a completely different Caitlin Clark against Golden State than you saw against Connecticut. Because remember, even after that, Caitlin Clark hit a big three in JC Sheldon's face, and she was fired up. She was clapping. She was yapping at the Connecticut coach, right? She was firing up the crowd earlier. We've seen none of that since, folks. We haven't seen that against Golden State at all. We haven't seen that against the Las Vegas Aces at all. Caitlin Clark has become a completely different player, not just in how the game is played, not just in walking the ball up the court and feeding the paint and not trying to get her looks, but in her demeanor, in her attitude, in her even toward the referees. It has been a completely different Caitlin Clark than what we are used to seeing. And I don't think that Caitlin Clark is a Caitlin Clark that can be successful. Caitlin Clark is one of those players that feeds off the crowd, feeds off that emotion, gets fired up when other players, do what they do to her, when they want to talk trash to her, gets fired up when the officials make bad calls and give her a T. These are the types of things that, some players some players, look, I get some players that completely just throws them off their game, right? Some players get trash talk, and if they get worked up about a call or whatever, it throws them off their game completely. Caitlin Clark feeds off of it. I'm not saying that she needs it to be a great player, that she can't go out and play well without, someone talking trash to her or the officials making bad calls or missing easy calls. I'm just saying that adds fuel to her fire, that a demonstrative, emotional, fired up Caitlin Clark who's egging on the crowd, getting the crowd going, right? Who's yapping in the face of other players, right? Having the exchange with Vivian's of Seattle at half court, JC Sheldon a couple times in this game, both before and after that play. Do we all remember Minnesota, which was, called Carver North when she was in college because she had so many fans up there? That one game they went up and they won. They stole that game from Minnesota Lynx out there, and Caitlin Clark's getting the away crowd fired up right when she's going to shoot free throws when they're icing the game, and she's all like, yeah, and getting that crowd. That is the demon that we know. A lot of people, they would like to show us some Caitlin Clark's crashing out and the attitude and all that, and Caitlin Clark fans are like, well, yeah, we know. We never said she's an angel on the court. We never said she's nice on the court. She's nice off of it. We don't want her to be nice on it, but being fired up and being not nice and trash talking is not the same thing as being dirty. We're perfectly okay with it. But yeah, I just thought this was a really interesting take. By again, it takes a great NBA player to tell the truth when it comes to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you later.